A Fort Wainwright soldier is charged with murder. We have an update from police.
Another heated debate over the state budget. We examine one of the most contentious amendments causing conflict.
And reactions over renting out the governor's mansion. How people are responding to the possibilities of staying at the historic location.
And new weather alerts are in effect tonight as the storm will deliver high winds, heavy snow, and rain to much of southern Alaska this week. I'll let you know how to prepare.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Good evening. Letting the public rent the governor's mansion. Yes, you heard that right.
That's right. That one Fairbanks lawmaker's idea to help pay some state bills, as lawmakers in general are in the middle of debating how to answer that question.
Georgina Fernandez tells us the idea is being met with mixed reactions.
Nestled near downtown Juneau, this house might be your next available short-term rental.
It would seem like a very special opportunity, to say the very least.
What makes it special when you hear, hey, you could potentially rent the governor's mansion, is who primarily lives here.
That seems like a unique opportunity. I'm thinking only the governor of Alaska would be living there.
Right now, lawmakers are reviewing House Bill 139. That bill, sponsored by Representative Will Stapp, if passed, would require the governor's office to rent out the mansion as a short-term rental when the legislature is not in session.
I know it's like 12,000 square feet. You know, that's a lot of room. I mean, just me alone, I don't know. But I'll probably have a lot of parties if I did.
With the goal, according to Stapp's sponsor statement, that the rental revenue would help offset part of the more than $800,000 it costs to operate the mansion year-round. A vision.
I think it's creative. If it goes through, I hope people take the opportunity to do that.
That people have mixed reactions to. What goes through your head?
It's kind of strange that that would be a prospect. So I don't really understand the money generating aspect of it. You know, where's the money going? Is this going to help the kids in the schools?
But whether people would actually stay here,
it's quite how much it costs.
It would depend on the circumstances, including how much it would cost to stay there.
That all depends on how much the state is asking for. An answer Stapp's office says will be determined by the governor's office. Georgina Fernandez, Alaska's news source.
And of course, Alaska's news source reached out to the governor's office, which told us the governor was not available for an interview. We also asked for the governor's reaction towards the bill, but did not hear back.
Well, the Mansion for Rent debate speaks to the bigger picture, a state budget battle that's happening right now, a budget that's based largely on the taxes from Alaska oil prices, which closed today at $67.69 a barrel. That's a slight gain from Friday as stocks rallied worldwide after President Donald Trump relaxed some tariffs. But Alaska crude prices are still below state projections, both for this and next year's budget year.
And right now, state house lawmakers are in the middle of hours of heated debate on what to keep, add, and remove from next year's budget.
The state savings account, known as the Constitutional Budget Reserve, or CBR, being one of the most contentious amendments during debate over House Bill 53. Lawmakers failing to stop a new CBR section today. That original amendment first passed Friday in a 21-19 vote. The amendment requires using savings if there's not enough money next budget year to cover general fund spending. That was just one part of the broader discussions about the budget challenges facing lawmakers.
The big issue that we are having in this legislative body begins with two fundamental questions. Number one is, where does the money go? And the second question is, what does the money do? And Mr. Speaker, I can give you dozens, if not hundreds of examples of not being able to answer question one and question two.
Now, as of last check, lawmakers were still debating proposed amendments to the budget bill, and those discussions are expected to continue throughout the week.
It is a beautiful day here in Anchorage tonight, but Melissa says another storm is on the way.
All right, Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry joins us now with the forecast. How much time do we have, Melissa, before it gets here?
In about 24 hours before we'll see any impacts here in Anchorage. There's still plenty of time to prepare. You'll see it even sooner, though, through the Aleutians and for the coastal areas of South Central. And that windstorm last night, a front moving through, did pack a punch for the Anchorage hillside. Gusts to 83 miles per hour at Potter Heights. We saw wind gusts over 50 miles per hour for Rabbit Creek and Upper DeArmond, and pretty breezy across town. It was a quick moving storm, though, again, there during those overnight hours with those highest winds between 1 and 3 a.m. Tonight, we have some blue sky. We have mild conditions, a little breezy, but nothing extreme. Temperatures holding right now in the mid-40s. The storm that brought those winds, that's quickly moving on to the east. Also bringing some snow tonight to the interior and some high winds on the way for the Alaska range. But that next storm system pushing into the northern Pacific just south of the Aleutians is going to be our next weather maker and is the reason we have a number of weather warnings, watches, and advisories in place. Up north and through the interior, it's wind that will be the main concern, and that'll be the main concern for Anchorage as well. But the Aleutians up into the Kuskokwim Delta, you're going to see not only the wind, but also some pockets of very heavy snow as well. As for the Anchorage Bowl, high wind watch is officially in effect from late Tuesday through late Wednesday. We're talking wind gusts to 90 miles per hour for the Anchorage hillside. So it is time to be prepared for possible power outages again late Tuesday through Wednesday. Otherwise, we're going to hold on to partly cloudy skies tomorrow. Temperatures starting out in the low 30s, climbing back into those 40s into the afternoon. 40s also in Fairbanks. Some, again, light snow overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Rain showers in Juneau, and snow is on the way for Bethel. I'll have all the details on this forecast here in a few minutes.
All right, Melissa, thank you. Well, charged with an interior murder, we're now hearing from the Fairbanks police chief about the 24-year-old active duty Fort Wainwright soldier who police say was out on bail when he shot and killed a man he knew.
Now, police say that the suspect, Adeas Robertson, killed 37-year-old Joseph Casas in an apartment off 27th Avenue on Friday. Robertson, a private first class, remains held on $2.5 million bail after appearing yesterday on first-degree murder charges. Police say when the shooting happened, Robertson was wearing an ankle monitor because he was a suspect in a case involving assault and escape. Now, part of his release conditions included obeying federal, state, and local laws. The police chief says they used that monitor to catch Robertson at the Big Dipper Ice Arena.
Once the homicide had occurred and we learned the identity of the suspect, one of our detectives had a previous case with him and was already on the phone with the jail because he thought he was still in custody at the time. He would then learn that he was released on pretrial, an ankle monitor, so we called pretrial, and he was able to get the GPS location from there.
Robertson's next scheduled to appear in court on Thursday. The 11th Airborne would not comment on the case. A spokesperson said that Wainwright is his first duty station, where he is a chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear specialist. He was living on base at the time of the homicide. We reached out to Casas' family for comment, but have not heard back.
Well, Cars on Gamble in Anchorage is selling everything before it closes. Many items are marked down, but as the store prepares to close for good, some shoppers worry about what the loss will mean for the Fairview neighborhood.
I hope they reconsider to keeping it open, not just for their profiting or their benefits. And, they have to think about the people. They really have to think about the people.
This neighborhood needs this store.
A Cars Safeway spokesperson told Alaska's news source earlier this month that the decision was, quote, not one we made lightly, unquote, but did not give a specific reason for the store's closure. Mayor Suzanne LaFrance called the store's closure a disservice to the neighborhood, saying the municipality is prioritizing maintaining nearby access to fresh food and prescription medications. The store's last day is May 10th. Prescriptions will be sent to the next closest Cars store at the Midtown Mall.
A water main repair on West Fireway has closed a portion of the street between C and B streets. The repairs just started. Now, the city says it waited until the evening to reduce the impacts on those businesses there. The water main is expected to be back to normal by morning.
All right, and today marks the start of Waste Reduction Week in Fairbanks. Here's a live look at the Cans for Cold Ones event. Just getting started, I'm sure. Recycling event. It's happening at the Lat 65 Brewery. It runs until 8 o'clock, and the idea here is folks bring bags of aluminum cans, and then they learn all about the ways they can recycle in the interior, and they do it over a pint. Other Waste Reduction Week events are planned. This sounds like a fun one. And still ahead, Sarah Palin's newspaper publishing problems continue.
How the New York Times is reacting to the former governor's new trial over defamation claims. And showcasing the athlete of the week, we take a look at the continued accomplishments of Chris Lee and his contributions to Alaska basketball. Former Governor Sarah Palin's defamation lawsuit against the New York Times began again today. The trial centers around an editorial the newspaper published in 2017. It erroneously linked a map that Palin's Political Action Committee had posted to a 2011 mass shooting that injured former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords. The Times quickly issued a correction. In 2022, a New York jury ruled against Palin. She appealed, and last year, a federal appeals board granted her a new trial. In a statement, the New York Times says it is confident it will prevail.
Well, it's sometimes difficult to keep up with the news of the day, but there is a place you can go to get more about the story. Tracy Sinclair is at our digital desk for those details.
At 5 o'clock, we have the story of the UAA women's basketball coach becoming the head coach at a Division I school. If you missed it, you can watch that on our streaming platforms. And then this Wednesday on 907 Sports, Jordan and Tyler will take a more in-depth look at Ryan McCarthy's career. Also, when you download the app on Amazon Fire, Apple TV, or Roku, you can find specials like Volcano Watch. It has some great information about the science and history of Mount Spur, plus some tips on what to do before, during, and after an eruption. There is so much available on our streaming platforms. You want to download that app so you don't miss a thing.
Highly recommended. Also coming up right after the break, we're going to take a detailed look at that incoming storm, the high winds, the snow, and the rain headed to Alaska. But first, I want to show you those daylight hours. We're still gaining another 5 to 7 minutes of daylight across the state. Anchorage's sunset not until 9:20, Fairbanks 9:26. Juneau, it's now after 8 p.m. and after 10 p.m. in Bethel.